Oh man, if you're invested long on Phantom coin, you need to watch this video because there is a potential catalyst which could lead to some imminent downside, and we're going to cover that off in today's video. So you guys know the bullish thesis on Phantom over this long term. We've been forming this massive rounded bottom pattern. We broke out of this rounded bottom pattern to the upside. We ended up in a continuation pattern and we broke out of that continuation pattern, right? So since then, we managed to run all the way to the $2.37 mark before getting rejected into this downward channel here, okay? Then we managed to break out of that channel and we faced resistance again at the same $2.45 level here, marked by this white line. Let me head over into the 4-hourly so we can see this a little bit more clearly. So what you can see here is we entered this continuation pattern. Now, if I show you, we ran up here, we entered into this continuation pattern, and it took us a little while to break out, but eventually we broke out. Now, upon breakout, our technical target for the breakout from this continuation pattern is sitting at $3. But since then, we've been struggling to break the $2.45 mark. You can see we tried it once there on that wick, twice there. We can see it again there, and again over here, okay? So a few number of times we've managed to get rejected from that level. Now look at my drawings from yesterday. We draw these before these candles played out, and look at how we had that perfectly. You can see my white pencil in the background there from when we said, look, we could easily get rejected from there, come back down, try to get support, go back up, and end up bouncing around. It's exactly what's happening here, guys. We're getting bounced around from the $2.45 and $2.16 mark. And what this is suggesting to me is the catalyst which we need to be worried about with Phantom, and that is that we have the Abu Dhabi Developers Conference coming up on Monday, okay? Now, why is this a concern, right? Surely this should be an upside catalyst. Well, you guys have known in the build up to this event all this week, I've been warning you guys of the potential of buy the rumor, sell the news. We saw this with the Cardano Summit. We saw this with the Cardano Alonso hard fork, and this is a risk we need to be aware of. What happens is when you get an event like this, oftentimes the price runs in the lead up to the event, and then traders, such as this, and then traders will sell to the downside whilst the event's occurring, or just before, which could be either today, if people are not at their desks over the weekend, or you can see that happening on the weekend or even Monday. So we'll be watching out for that. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a final run-up even today, tomorrow, or Sunday, before then spilling the beans during the conference. Now, the way that this can be avoided is if we have a good conference, right? If at the conference they announce some amazing projects which we weren't expecting, then that could have a lot of positive impact on Phantom and the long-term Phantom price, and then we can just head to the upside. Then you'll get buy the rumor and buy the news because the conference was that good. But if it's anticlimactic, then we could see price come in the short term to the downside. And for me, our key support levels are $1.93, but to the downside further, 166, and then the top of this wedge at $1.55, okay? So those are the levels we want to watch out for on the downside. Now, what's going to happen on the upside? Well, on the upside, we've got some really important levels. We need to break through the $2.45. So what I'd want to see from this level is I'd want to see us build some strength and break through it now on the third time trying, come back to collect some support from $2.45, and then head higher to our $3 target, okay? Once we get through this level, it's going to be a lot easier because you're into green grass then, okay, guys? This is unfound territory, and you can pump quicker and harder in that space once you create an all-time high. But we need to go and do that. We've got rejected once, twice, 3, 4 times at this $2.47 mark. We really need to push through that with some volume, with the RSI ticking. That would be really important for us to push on, okay? Now, let's take out our EMA ribbon to remind ourselves of where we're at, and you will see we're doing just fine. This correction down here is just getting us support from the EMA ribbon. We didn't flip bearish on the 4-hourly. Let's see if we may have ticked bearish on the hourly. Let's take a look. Yep, so we just flipped bearish on the hourly. And we just need to keep an eye on this. You can see we got a perfect bounce here off the EMA ribbon, and now we just need to push higher. We can't risk falling into a downtrend, right? We don't want this to curl over. That would be the downside. We need to build the strength, push beyond this higher high and just push with high volume above $2.45. And that's why I'm bringing you this warning video, because right now the chart is suggesting we could be curling over with the buy the rumor, sell the news, right? And therefore we could be heading down to $1.90 or even $1.66 on Phantom in the short term. Right, so now that's off our chest for you traders out there who are trading this over a short time frame. Let's get back to our view of the long-term targets for Phantom. And we know we're sitting there at $3 on that target there. But I want to mention a few other things as well. Let's look at DeFi Llama, because this is where you're seeing real adoption take place on Phantom Network. You'll see me talking about this. We're sitting at 4.6 billion in total value locked. That's closer to about 6-7 billion, because as you know, they take out the AnySwap TVL in their calculations, which we know is sitting at 2.6 billion, and you can see that it's coming down a little bit. It's cooling off. We had a lot of interest in the lead up, and it will continue to grow. It's fine if it consolidates, but you can see people are using Phantom Network. Look at all these protocols: AnySwap, Guys Finance, Spooky Boo, Scream Finance. We've covered this. Spirit Swap, Yearn Finance now carrying along, and look at these projects. AnySwap is interoperable on so many different chains. Beefy Finance the same. Curve is now available on Phantom. A lot of the projects people are used to, as well as their own projects like Tomb Finance, as Guys Finance, Spooky Swap, just built. Scream Finance is doing amazingly. 300 million, 400 million locked just on Phantom. Really powerful. We've also got the launch of TUSD. Okay, so we've got TUSD now, the stable coin, which is really going to help because you can use that on AnySwap as well. So we're going to see even more transactions happening there. The Phantom Developer Conference is amazing. We can also see that the volume is picking up now. You can see volume spiking and picking up. Average active addresses have gone up by 300%. Previously, you had 203 or so addresses. Now there's 1.2 thousand addresses. Average transaction volume has risen to $150 million in transactions now. And obviously, we mentioned the True USD, which is TUSD, which is added to the AnySwap network. You've also got Yearn Finance, which was really popular on some of the other chains, is now available on Ethereum, is now available on Phantom as well. So this is going to create even more yield farming opportunities for investors. We can also see that we're getting more institutional awareness on Phantom as well, which is really interesting for the long-term price prediction for Phantom, which brings me on to my long-term price prediction. And you can see here what I've done is I've put my Fibonacci's on the weekly chart, going from swing low to swing high. And this ties in quite nicely with my shorter term prediction. You know, that was $3, which I've just shown you. Well, we're now sitting on this chart. I can see that our golden ratio number of 1.618 gives us a $3.9 Phantom, okay? So we've got almost another 1.8 times multiple for us here on Phantom for us to be heading higher. So definitely a lot of potential. I don't suspect we're going to get there straight away. We may get a correction, head back up to the $3 target, which I mentioned from the continuation pattern, come cool off back at all-time highs, and then head on higher to 3.46 and then eventually 3.9. But that's my view of the longer term where we could be heading on Phantom. You can see how extended we are on the weekly chart. Given it's such a new project, you know, it's healthy for it to do its run, come down, collect some support, and then head higher. That's what we want from these projects. So there you go, guys. There's an update on Phantom. Please be careful if you are trading this on the short term. As I mentioned, you've got the Abu Dhabi conference happening, and anytime you have a catalyst like this, which people have been waiting a long time for, you can get buy the rumor, sell the news. Now, if you hear some great news around Phantom and you want to play the trade around that, that's fine, but it's got to be something really impressive that the market hasn't already priced in. And considering we've already had a run, maybe a lot of this stuff has been priced into Phantom. So my price target remains at $3 on the breakout of the continuation pattern, as long as we can hold these levels and we don't get sell the news over the weekend. But it looks like it's curling over, so we need to keep an eye on that and be cautious over the next few days. But long term, still super bullish. You can see the adoption of the platform. You can see the total value locked. You can see the great things being built. And it reminds me of early Ethereum, right? When Uniswap was being built, where Yearn Finance was being built, Maker, Curve, Aave, all these things. It really reminds you of Phantom, and the adoption it's getting both from normal average users who are using it, but also institutions, just shows that it's a great project. So definitely one for us to be watching out on. As always, guys, if you like my blend between fundamental and technical analysis, then please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.